You're entering Corsi Nation.
This is Jerome Corsi. Today it's Wednesday. It's July 30th, 2025. Thanks for joining us on CorsiNation.com. We're doing podcasts every weekday. You can see us at X at Corsi Jerome 1. You can find me at JeromeCorsiPhD.substack.com. We're doing Substack almost every day. I've got a bit of news today to report, and I'm going to go quickly because my time is a little bit limited today. But the first story I want to cover is that I've now got a new article appearing on American Thinker. And this is a very important article. What it does is, it was not easy to get this article published because it's breaking extremely important news. What it's about is that Arizona State Senator Mark Finchem, Finchem, and he's the executive director of the Election Fairness Institute in Arizona, has issued a press release, and he's disclosing the results of a 15-year investigation conducted by Sean Taylor, who is a former assistant police chief in Millersville, Tennessee, and he uncovered a, quote, magic mortgage laundering scheme that appears to be tied to ActBlue as its donor channel. And this is a remarkable story. Now, what Finchem says is we've witnessed a level of public corruption never before seen in this nation that's been financed by everything from black market child trafficking, distribution of fentanyl from China, and cocaine from the Mexican cartels. I mean, I want to read that again. What Finchem is saying, we have witnessed a level of public corruption never before seen in this nation, and this involves ActBlue, that has been financed by everything from black market child trafficking, distribution of fentanyl from China, and cocaine from Mexican cartels. What Finchem told me also, he said that, quote, a complicated magic mortgage money laundering network has fueled the lies and deceit at the heart of the Democratic Party's ActBlue political fundraising scheme. The evidence amassed by federal whistleblower Sean Taylor will expose the ongoing criminal enterprise known today as the Democratic Party. Now, that's not pretty shocking. I don't know what is. Okay, so Sean Taylor, he's been trying for 2 years to get out information on this investigation, and he's managed to break through to the Justice Department even, and I've been working with him now for months and assisting him in getting this information that he has into the public and into the Department of Justice. So the reach of Taylor's investigation is mind-boggling. He ultimately contends that the results are going to stretch the opening of our southern border under the Obama and Biden regimes, starting with an agreement Archbishop Theodore McCarrick brokered with Honduras in 2011. Now, those of you who have been following Corsi Nation know we have been interviewing Mike McCormick, and Mike has been blasting in this book, which is the almost insurmountable evil about Obama's deep state defiling the Catholic Church and executing this plot, which would open the border. The Catholic Church wanted the border of Mexico open to child sex trade and child organ trade. I mean, it's evil, and to fentanyl and to cocaine, and the Sinaloa drug cartel was in. I'll be reporting on this. I'll do a whole article on this next week, but we've done already various podcasts on it, and those of you who are familiar with them will know what they are, and we'll probably replay one of those again this week. So what Sean Taylor told me is we started investigating the drug trafficking in Tennessee and identified a specific mortgage. We initially thought this could be an error, but once we dug in and pulled the property deeds, the mortgage insurance documents, and the tax documents, we realized that these records provided a pattern of different amounts of money consistent with mortgage money laundering. So Taylor continued, we continued to investigate and trace the trail of the money laundering into numerous mortgages connected to individuals and nonprofit organizations, all of whom had relationships with ActBlue. They determined through previous drug trafficking investigations, this was a transnational criminal organization that depended upon the complicity of international banks to succeed, as well as our government and foreign governments. Now, I believe this story is going to pan out because what I report here in this article is information that concerns Regina Wallace-Jones, who was the CEO of ActBlue in 2013. And her job was to bring her technical expertise to the ActBlue platform. She had been involved in real estate. Her last job before ActBlue was being the chief operating officer of Lend Street Financial, a lending platform, I believe, on the internet. Now, what Mark Finchin and Sean Taylor contend is that Wallace-Jones invested her earnings over the years in real estate, California, Texas, and Virginia. And the analysis here begins with a property on Runnymede Street in East Palo Alto, California. And according to Zillow, it currently has a value of $1,727,000. It's only a 2,668 square foot home. It was built in 2002. But what Sean Taylor did is he went to the LexisNexis database, and LexisNexis has one of the largest data warehouses of public and non-public record information available anywhere. Now, this home was one that Regina Wallace-Jones bought along with her husband, Stefford Jones. They brought it from the Clarum Corporation on May 21, 2002 for $689,500. But on the same day, Regina Wallace-Jones and her husband received a mortgage from Wells Fargo for $651,600. Number two, they got a $552,253 loan from Wells Fargo Homage Mortgage. And also on the day, the sales price was listed at $68,950,000, with two unlisted sources making additional loans of $10,035,000 and $55,125,000. So they continued to get mortgages on this property. In total, they got $59,898,723 in loans on a house with an assessed value of less than $1 million at the time they bought it. Almost $60 million in loans. Now, how is that possible? Well, what Taylor realized was that, first of all, that LexisNexis was picking up the loans they were made. Somehow or other, they were booked in the bank. Now, the way money laundering is done, money has got to come into the bank from some illegal source. And what Sean Taylor is contending is that he found in Nashville, or outside of Nashville, that criminals were bringing underage children, cocaine and fentanyl up the waterways in a scheme of drug child trafficking that produced a lot of money. And that money in bank as illegal money, and the banks do take illegal. PD Bank almost over $1 billion for an adjustment and putting various things. Commission, you've got contribution. What's going on? What the money out of the they were buying $1,000 to increase, and then loan on that scheme, money laundering, trafficking, and the level itself put it together with what's going on with order. What here, Department of Justice is the Department can get the financial records and tie this together. What Sean did not have is the FINRA records, or the FinCEN records, which are records banks maintain of transactions that are supposed to be reported to the federal government. But banks like TD Bank, Toronto Dominion, and it shows up in this mortgage loan fraud with other cases I'm going to report on over the next few weeks. But if this is right, it means that the Democratic Party under Obama and Biden were funding Antifa, Black Lives Matter, ActBlue, Democratic candidates with child trafficking money, with cocaine from the Sinaloa drug cartel in Mexico, and allowing China to profit from the sale of fentanyl, which they were also making money from, to fund the Democratic Party. Now, if this is true, and I believe it is true, it's why I'm reporting it. I've seen enough evidence for me to be saying, LexisNexis doesn't make a mistake in reporting these mortgages, but they don't show up in the deeds. So, like what Sean Taylor says, is that this has all the signs of money laundering through mortgages, mortgage loan irregularities. These are red flags. So on May 21, 2002, when Stefford and Regina bought this home in Palo Alto, there were 5 simultaneous filings in the same day, 3 with the identical $689,500 sales price, but with different loan amounts or borrowers. And then on May 21, also, this loan of, mortgage loan of $10 million versus the sales price was a grossly inflated loan to value ratio. So this looks like a layered strategy within 10 days of fraudulent mortgage loans coming out, just money coming out of the bank. And, the mortgage title transfers between Regina and Stanford over the years is as title bouncing or self-to-self deed rotation to manipulate ownership records or to reset mortgage windows. Okay, she also found that the official documents describing this property were inconsistent with the property had 1 or 2 stories or 1 or 5 bedrooms, which suggests the structure mismatches from across different reports is filing manipulation or identity masking. So LexisNexis flagged 13 to 14 deed transfers in somewhat less than 272 months, which reflects an extremely high frequency of transactions for a residential home, but it's common in laundering or equity cycle setups. Okay, so all of this looks like mortgage fraud. And one house that was involved in mortgage fraud, they got $150 million loan on for a house that was worth under $2 million. That occurred in ActBlue. I'm going to be reporting a lot more of this. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But I've never seen a more disturbing story. Well, maybe the next one is a little bit more disturbing. We had a major earthquake occur off of Russia last night, 8.7 on the Richter scale, which is just impossibly big. And health rangers reporting on X that this could be a weapon from Russia. In other words, Trump has taken a harder position right now on Ukraine because he wants Putin to do a ceasefire. Well, Putin's not doing a ceasefire while the Ukrainians continue to shoot at him. Okay, and so therefore, Trump is saying Russia won't cooperate, and Trump is now encouraging. He's got this General Kellogg negotiating, who's a warmonger, wants us to go to war with Russia over Ukraine, and he's giving more weapons, at least some Patriot missile defenses, to Ukraine. Meanwhile, the European Union's cut off supplying Zelensky because Zelensky has been involved in all kinds of money laundering and the fraud and illegal transactions committee in Ukraine was being shut down by Zelensky, so it didn't investigate his buddies. Very similar to what was happening with Burisma and Barack Obama and his son Hunter Biden, when the corruption investigations in Ukraine threatened to get too close. Now, there's also a move that the United States intelligence and Britain intelligence are trying to depose Zelensky, but they'll probably put in a general who Zelensky fired. And if this continues this way, if this was a weaponized attack earthquake, it means that Russia has probably cracked turbulence mathematics, which would involve quantum physics concepts. And if that's the case, Russia now has quantum weapons that could affect Earth change. This is an earthquake that occurred on plate tectonics, which could affect how the plates of the Pacific Ocean are located. And the tsunami hit Russia last night and is headed towards Hawaii, and it's headed towards the west coast of the United States. So Putin's saying, lay off. But that the turbulence mathematics have been solved means to me that we've gone through a fundamental breakthrough in the understanding of time and space. Because turbulence is a energy transfer that occurs in microseconds. It's like a storm that happens when this energy is transferred back and forth through spherical space, and it creates friction in the physical, what we perceive as the physical world. And that physical world caused turbulence, which you see in air, you see it in water. Leonardo da Vinci was famous for drawing turbulent water. The mathematics of turbulence are extremely complicated. And I don't think we have it down yet, right? Because I think it's quantum in nature. I think it's going to require very, very advanced mathematics and a very fundamental different understanding of time and space in order to understand how these events can occur. But if Russia's cracked this, let's look out. We're in for another age of, end times weaponry in which we're fundamentally playing with the physics of Earth. And that can have unintended consequences, which could be catastrophic for the species, for all species on the planet. Remember, the Earth has gone through 5 previous extinctions where more than 85 to 90% of everything living on the planet died. This is not a stable place. And there's no reason that we wouldn't have another mass extinction. And this one we caused, not because of climate change, but because of this weaponry that we've developed now, which can have earth-changing consequences. Now, one other story that's gaining at the same time is the story of the Nunes report, which was released. And the Nunes report is dramatic in that what it shows is that the intelligence agencies have all gotten together in a scheme that is designed here to basically say that Russia did not steal the emails and Putin did not get involved with Trump in trying to win the election. And that's known and very well known by the Clapper and Brennan and the other intelligence agencies. And they did this Russian collusion narrative just the same. Now, I've got to end this because I've got different things going on today. But this is Dr. Jerome Corsi. Thank you. And again, God always wins, and God will win here too. Thank you for joining us, and God bless. We'll be back tomorrow with another podcast on CorsiNation.com. Thank you.